If you've ever experienced imposter syndrome, you'll know how utterly debilitating it is. So stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know the 3 steps that I myself use when imposter syndrome rears its little head. And these are the exact steps that I teach my clients who are 6- and 7-figure business owners, entrepreneurs, and leaders in their field. And it's this work that enables them to carry on growing their success, but without imposter syndrome, without the stress, and with more happiness. But before we get into the steps, I just want you to understand exactly what imposter syndrome is. Imposter syndrome occurs when your self-concept, your identity that you hold about yourself, doesn't match up to the success that you've achieved externally. Your internal state is not matching the external state. So the way to overcome imposter syndrome is to create an internal state that matches the success that you have. And luckily for you, this is also the basis of reality creation. So you can use it for imposter syndrome, which is what we're going to do today, but you can also use it to create the wonderful, wonderful reality that you really want to be experiencing, right? Okay, let's get into these steps. And as I go through these steps, I would love it if you could take notes in the comments. When you write things down, like in the comments or even on a piece of paper, it gives signals to your brain that this is important to you. And that really, really helps with your reality creation. Okay, step 1. Write out what the version of you that has never experienced imposter syndrome feels like. And go really, really into great detail. Notice how they feel in their body. Notice the perfume that they put on that morning. Notice the clothes that they're wearing. Notice how they enter a room and how they hold themselves in a meeting. Just pay really close attention to every little thing about that version of you. What are they thinking? What are they needing to believe is true about them? And not only true about them, but also true about other people and the world in general. What are their beliefs? And I just want you to write it all out. Like I say, add as many senses as you can. Like, what do they hear? What do they hear themselves saying? What do they smell in the rooms that they occupy? What do they touch? Like, what do their clothes feel like? Like I say, get as many senses in there as possible and imagine it all. Imagine it, imagine it, imagine it as you're writing it all out. This is how your brain gets to know who you are and who you want to be. So in those daydreamy states, as you're writing it all out, you are teaching your brain who you are, who you choose to be, that you are a person who has never experienced imposter syndrome before. Because we're not curing imposter syndrome. We are creating a reality where imposter syndrome never even existed in the first place. Because here's the thing, right? The thing about imposter syndrome is that when we experience it, it stops us from getting any higher up the ladder. It stops us from getting any more clients, from getting any more success, because internally we don't feel as though we are worthy or deserving of having those positions. So when we create in our brain this vision of who we are without imposter syndrome, that just opens the door and the sky is literally the limit. You are only ever limited by the limitations that you place on yourself. So by adopting a version of you, by writing out this version of you that has never experienced imposter syndrome, that process opens up those doors again. So you can walk through them and feel worthy and deserving of being there. So you do walk in them holding your head held high with pride and confidence and the knowing that you're supposed to be there. Okay, step 2 in this process. And seriously, if you do this, your life will change, and it will change quicker than you can even imagine. Okay, step 2 is awareness. Become aware of everything about you. Become aware of the thoughts that you're thinking, become aware of the words that you're saying, become aware of how you're sitting or standing, become aware of how you're walking into a room. And once you can do that, then you can assess, am I walking with the confidence that I know the version of me without imposter syndrome walks with? Am I saying the words that I know the version of me without imposter syndrome says? Am I thinking the thoughts that they would be thinking? What are the feelings that I have in my body? Are these more aligned with the version of me that has imposter syndrome or the version of me that doesn't? How many times today have I told myself that I'm experiencing imposter syndrome? The more you tell yourself you're experiencing imposter syndrome, the more you will experience imposter syndrome, because that is the way that life is created. God, source, the universe, whatever you want to call it, life just says yes. And it takes direction from you, from your conscious state of being. So if you are constantly saying that you're experiencing imposter syndrome, that you don't feel comfortable in this situation, life will constantly say yes, and here's the proof. So notice when you're saying that to yourself. Notice when you're thinking that. Notice when your body is starting to contract instead of expand, and catch it. Catch it and say to yourself, this is the old version of me. I don't have imposter syndrome. I have never had imposter syndrome. Therefore, I'm going to sit taller now. And you might need to do this for a while. You might need to do this repeatedly for a few days, for a few weeks. But the more you practice, the quicker you're going to catch your thoughts and allow reality to mirror a version of you that you would choose to be. It's this process that took my client Patrice from being in business for 20 years and doing quite well, thank you very much, to really exceeding all of her expectations, to being completely fully booked within 3 weeks of working together. So if that sounds like something that you want, you're going to find the link to join me on a call in the description. Okay, step 3. Step 3 is a mental rehearsal as you are falling asleep and as you are waking up. This is as you are going into alpha wave state. And it's in this alpha wave state that you are most suggestible, that you can really, really start programming your subconscious mind. Because what is true is whatever your subconscious mind believes is true. So if you want a reality where imposter syndrome never existed, then you need to teach your subconscious mind that that's who you are and that's the life that you have always lived. So for step 3, as you're falling asleep, I want you to read the description that you wrote in step 1. Read it, breathe into it, lean into it, close your eyes, really imagine it. Again, bring in all of those senses again. And as you're falling asleep, reimagine the day that you've just had. Reimagine it as though it was lived by the version of you that you've just described in step 1. As you fall asleep, just keep playing that version, living that day again and again and again until you fall asleep. And when you wake up, do it again. When you wake up, just before you properly get conscious, just go, life is amazing. Life without imposter syndrome is absolutely amazing. And remind yourself who you are. Remind yourself that you are brilliant, that you are clever, that you are smart, that you always have the right answers, that you are confident, that people pay attention to you when you walk into a room. Again, the brain loves familiarity, and you get to teach your brain who you are now. And who you are is a version of you that has never experienced imposter syndrome. Now, if you have any questions about that, please put them in the comments and I will definitely respond. And if you don't want to carry on with this imposter syndrome that you're experiencing and you want to get rid of it quickly, then the link to join me in a call is in the description. And I look forward to speaking with you. So thank you for being here. Thank you for liking, commenting, sharing, and doing all of the things. It really does help the algorithm. Good luck with this. Put it into practice, and I will see you next time. Take care. Bye.